Welcome to my first ever 5-Minute Friday where I take 5 minutes and teach you how to do something. It's not going to be every Friday, but when I do it, it'll be Friday. Anyway, today we're going to be covering Cubasis 3, just an introduction. Of course, I can't teach you everything about it in 5 minutes, but I think that when you're done watching this video, you are going to be ready to start making some music. Anyway, that being said, let's put 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get into it. Alright guys, when you open up Cubasis 3 for the first time, it's going to show you one of these demo projects. And what you're going to do to start your own project is come over here to the left, press the Media tab. Of course, this is how you organize your files and stuff on Cubasis 3. But what we're going to do is come down to this button right here, press New Project. Now let's go over some of the basic controls. So you have your play, record, and metronome up here, and then you have your skip and your loop button right here. Those are going to be affected by where your left and right markers are on your timeline. It's going to skip to the markers. It's also going to loop what you have in between those. So to adjust the beats per minute of your project, you're going to click on this right here, and then you just place your finger on this number and slide to the left to slow it down, to the right to speed it up. You can also do the tap tempo, and then you make more fine adjustments to it with this plus and minus button right here. Once you've set those things the way you want them to be, you're going to add a track to the project by pressing this button down here. And it's going to give you the option for an audio track, a MIDI track, or a group. And when you select group, it's going to open up this window where you can select what tracks you want to have as part of that group. And then you just press on the screen and it goes away. And it can be really nice because you can adjust volume and add effects to the whole group instead of just one track at a time. So to make adjustments to individual tracks, you're just going to want to make sure that you selected that track. And this is where you're going to control individual details about them. If you don't see this, just click on this triangle icon right here and it will come out. So the first thing you have is routing. This is going to be where the audio for that track is coming from. And you can change that to be like from an interface with these top two or from other apps with these bottom two. And if you're using an interface, you can select what channel of that interface with this button right here. And that only applies if you have a multi-channel interface. Of course, after that, you have your insert and your send effects. And this is where you would add things like delays, reverbs, EQs, things like that. If you want to use an audio unit that's not native to Cubasis 3, just click on this arrow and it'll give you some more options. And when you're ready to start recording, if you have a MIDI track selected, you can actually press this to have a keyboard come up on the screen and you can play things in right here. And if you want to record on multiple tracks at one time, you just make sure this right here is selected. And this icon is specifically for audio tracks. It'll allow you to hear what audio is being sent to that track currently. You also have things like mute and solo right here. Once you have everything set the way you want it to be set, you can just press record. Now that we have something recorded into the project, I'm going to show you some of the basic controls for making adjustments to audio. You have your select here, which is going to allow you to select tracks to highlight them. You have your split, which is going to cut tracks where you have the playhead located. And then of course you have erase, which is going to erase whatever track you have highlighted. I didn't want to cover some of these other ones. Maybe I could cover those in another video. Once you're ready to actually start mixing, you're going to come here and you can adjust individual volumes for a track and see them all at the same time, which is nice. And if you wanted to have more control over each of them, you can slide it up like this to be able to control them a little more detailed. Once you have everything mixed and ready to be exported, you're going to come over here to your media window. You're going to press mix down, and then you're going to press create mix down. These different settings you'll want to adjust to how you like them. I typically leave it on wave, and I like to mix down between locators. That's going to mix down whatever you have in between your left and your right tabs here on your timeline. Typically this is how I would set it, but you might want to set separate tracks if you're going to send this project to somebody else to help you work on it. But now let's press start mix down. And now we have the mix down of that project right here. So this is the audio. You can press share to send it to some other app or to somebody else if you wanted right here. If you would like to learn more about Cubasis, I'll have some of my other videos on the screen for you right now. And of course, I would love to hear some other 5 Minute Friday ideas that you would like to see in the comments down below. But as always, die empty. I'll catch you in the next one.